So when you've got heavy cormorant predation, you need to limit the amount of stress that the fish are going through. A lot of people seem to put these fake islands in, calling them fish refuges, and I think two things for me. One, they look pretty ugly, and also when they're sat in the middle of lakes, raised, with cages underneath, all right, the fish might spend time under there, but you're not going to catch them, and they're going to be stressed under there anyway. That's an environment, you're creating a fake environment where, yes, all right, you're putting something in which potentially they can hide under. People have different mesh sizes, a little fish can swim in them, but then the fish are in there as stressed. They don't want to be in there, but they will go in there for refuge. My argument's always been the same. I'd rather spend time and money and make the margins of any lake more habitable for the fish, because the benefits are multiple. You're increasing the habitat for one, for everything, not just the fish, but you're also massively improving your bank stabilisation. So if you do it properly, you can eliminate bank erosion, and you provide and it's very, very good for the water quality. And we do preach about it all the time because it's really important. It's before you're stocking fish, you want to look at what's going on with your fish and ways to improve the lake itself. And again, clubs especially, there was a lot of the people, oh no, we want instant, we need more fish, but there's lots of reasons why I wouldn't stock fish. You can turn around, and we've got a lovely portfolio of clients that we've helped turn their fisheries around from being fairly poor fishing to very prolific fishing, not by stocking more fish, but by helping them learn and understand more viable ways to improve things, really. And I'm hoping this will be one of those where, although there's a lot of fish here, there's a lot of potential. There is recruitment, the water quality's fine, but rather than just buy more fish, which you're probably just going to get eaten by the cormorant, it's about increasing the amount of space and food available. And again, some purists will say, oh no, you shouldn't feed the fish, you shouldn't do this. Well, where does it end? Should we not put fences up then? Should we not do anything? Should we just leave everything completely wild? In that case, fine. That's not a problem. We've got fisheries we work at which are completely wild, that will never be fenced on private estates, and they've still got very big fish in, but it's heartbreaking when you go and find a few dead carcasses every now and then because the otters are on there. So there's a happy medium, and every single lake's different, and every environment is different than we work in, so you have to work with the client to achieve what you can. A lot of people don't like the fact when you turn up and you would advise people to feed the fish, or take a tree out, or drain the pond, or do anything, and all they want is more fish, or just leave it as it is. Well, you can't. If you leave things as they are, you're going to have rises and falls in populations and in weather conditions. The weather dictates that as well. Climate plays a huge part, especially nowadays. Algal blooms and weed and all this, that and the other. Oxygen fluctuating because of the no one's doing anything. So everywhere's different, and that's the key thing. Quite a lot of the time, once you've netted lakes and had a look at the stock, yes, I'll always be like, well, okay, they could do with additional food. Classic example of a club water like this, where I think they've got 300 odd members, but there's very few people fishing. Even in the summer, it's not busy, so there's very little bait going in. You have a contrast from that to a busy day ticket water, where every swim's full all the time, and there's plenty of food going in. Anglers' baits, they are chucking plenty of food, and that's why carp fisheries are fairly easy, because carp anglers tend to put a bit more bait in than pleasure anglers and match fishermen. So there's always plenty of food going in, which is why quite often when you're netting a lot of these modern carp fisheries which are full of fish, you're also catching lots of quality silvers, big bream, big tench, big perch, big everything, because it all has a knock-on effect, and that food availability is key. So we do promote supplementary feeding near enough everywhere we go, simply because what we see is the fish just respond so well to it, and they're in much better condition. They can put up with more stress. They can put up with more repeat captures. If they're getting caught and they're in good condition and they're happy, and they're physically fit, when they get returned, they'll get caught again. Their recovery rate's a lot quicker. Whereas if they're knackered little ropey things, which are struggling for space and food, they might not get caught again for weeks. And again, your low stock pits, your syndicates, your very low stocked, secret squirrel type lakes, that's fine. But for me, we have, like I say, we don't just work at one type of venue. We're working at different types of fishery for different types of clients. So, and I think that's why we can offer a good service, simply because we're doing it every day and we just get to see everything. So you can adapt your methods and your approach to every job to suit the needs of each individual client, which varies from, like I say, private estates to clubs to busy day tickets to little canals and you know, vast reservoirs with very few fishing. But you're always learning. Always learning. Every day's a school day in this job. So this will be interesting. There's an awful lot of scaffold poles around here which was put in to try and tie the banks up. So it'll be dead interesting for me to get my waders on, get in there and kick under the banks to see if it's worked. I don't think it probably has, but there we are. But yeah, nice lake. We'll see how we get on.